Our artisans, they need to do 4 years of training to be able to manufacture a Kelly bag. This that you've just seen, the perlage, you need to be very skilled and very, very good.
Some of Hermès products are made in China. Towels are from Fuyue in Shandong. They also make products for Chanel and IKEA. Beddings are from Yue in Shandong. Men's shoes are from Shachi in Shandong. Tableware are from Gaochun in Jiangsu.
It was my first time shopping at Hermès, and let me tell you how it went.
We got a lot of requests, do Hermès next. And that's why we're here in the Highland Park Mall.
Made in Italy, made in China, or maybe made in Chile.
Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way.
Because some brands get real creative when it comes to made in logo.
Hermès is scrambling, and the truth about made in France bags is finally out. Luxury fashion is facing a major wake-up call, and one of the biggest names caught in the middle of the storm is Hermès, the brand famous for creating bags that cost more than a year of college tuition. Known for its ultra-exclusive Birkin and Kelly handbags, Hermès has always sold an image of elite French craftsmanship, tradition, and timeless quality. But now, all of that carefully built reputation is crumbling, and not because of counterfeits or knockoffs. What's rocking the fashion world is far worse. The people who actually make the bags are now speaking out, and what they're saying is shaking the industry to its core. The real makers are telling the truth. Controversy began when several Chinese manufacturers, the very same ones hired by Hermès to help create their luxury,
She put the finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete, 4 hours for just the handle. There are no manuals or cheat sheets. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make every bag.
handbags decided to reveal what's really going on behind the scenes. These factories weren't making copies or unauthorized versions. No, they were producing the real Hermès bags, the ones sold in boutiques for $20,000 or more. Now, these manufacturers are shedding light on how things truly work. And spoiler alert, it's not what we were led to believe. For years, Hermès has proudly painted a picture of each bag being hand-stitched in a quiet French workshop, where artisans in white coats gently craft each piece of leather with care and tradition. That's the story, that's the image, that's the dream. But according to these insiders, that image is largely fake, made in France, but only technically here is what's actually.
So Hermès has put out a response to China, and they have like a video in a factory sort of showing people trying to show that they're actually the ones who are making the bags in a factory somewhere in France.
Actually happening. According to evidence and reports, up to 80% of Hermès bags are fully produced in China. This doesn't just mean a few pieces or minor work. It includes cutting the leather, stitching it together, lining the interior, and assembling the entire bag from start to finish. Once the bags are almost done, they're sent to France, where someone adds a final touch, maybe a button or a brand logo. Just enough so that the company can legally label it as made in France. And when this secret started getting attention online with
I have spent over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those bags so expensive.
photos, documents, and even video proof Hermès didn't own up. Instead, they went into full damage control, filing lawsuits against several Chinese manufacturers for things like defamation and misuse of intellectual property. In simple words, they weren't mad about lies, they were mad about getting
Take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that.
being caught. Enter Tanner Leatherstein. The whistleblower with scissor. Much of the attention around this issue comes thanks to a man named Tanner Leatherstein. He's not a fashion critic or gossip blogger, he's a leather expert. His specialty? Buying high-end designer bags and cutting them open on camera to inspect what's really inside. Tanner has built a huge online following by exposing what luxury brands
SUES, the Chinese supplier behind product. Bags are from Sitong Handbag in Dongguan City, Guangdong Province. It's a factory specializing in handbags for 54 years. and it produces 80% of the world luxury bags.
Don't want you to know. He's sliced open bags from Chanel, Louis Vuitton, and Hermes, and what he found was surprising or maybe disappointing. He discovered that many of these ultra-expensive bags use leather and materials no better than what you'd find on a bag that costs $100. In fact, he revealed that a Birkin bag, which can—
He started making his boots in China, and that is these boots right here. This is pretty much the UGG boot that most Americans will have in their house. I was very pissed off when I found out the truth because I grew up in Southern California. I remember being in elementary school when I would only see 2 people in the entire school wearing UGG boots, and they were always the cool surfer.
Retail for $15,000 or more, only costs around $600 to make, and that includes decent leather and hardware. So what are people paying for? Not quality. They're paying for the brand name, the story, and the illusion of exclusivity. Tanner has spent over $100,000 of his own money on this mission, not to discredit luxury brands, but to understand why people spend so much on these products. And after carefully analyzing the stitching, leather quality, and construction of dozens of bags, he found that the prices are mostly based on image, not craftsmanship. Too many bags, not enough hands. No. Let's use common sense for a moment. Hermes reported more than $15 billion in sales in 2024. If every Birkin or Kelly bag really took 20 hours to make by hand in France, how are they able to sell so many? There simply aren't enough trained artisans in France to produce that volume. The numbers just don't make sense unless most of the work is being done elsewhere, which now we know it is. Hermes isn't aligned. Here's the kicker. Hermes isn't the only brand doing this. Other luxury giants like Chanel, Louis Vuitton.
Nothing is as humbling as your daughter drawing on your $60,000 Birkin, am I right?
Yeah. I couldn't even be mad at her because when I asked her, I was like, I wanted to see if she was gonna tell me the truth. I was like, Coach, did you draw on mommy's purse?
Literally spent $60,000 on this purse. Look what my daughter did to my purse.
And Prada follow a similar strategy. They outsource the majority of production to countries like China, then do 1 or 2 finishing steps in Europe just to qualify for the Made in Italy or Made in France label. It's a clever legal loophole. And while consumers think they're buying something European, most of the time, they're not. Chinese factories today are among the best in the world when it comes to manufacturing leather goods. They use top-tier materials, advanced equipment, and have skilled workers with years of experience. Many mid-range and luxury brands use the same suppliers. The only difference is the label. Some social—
Unbox my latest Hermes bag with me. This is my first bag I got this year. I usually get 1 bag a year, and this is the one for this year. And I'm really excited about it.
Media creators have shown that they've bought factory extras bags made in the exact same facilities as the real ones, just without the branding. Others have even revealed they bought UGG boots from the exact factory as the official versions. The only thing missing was the logo. The illusion is cracking. As this truth spreads, something interesting is happening. People are becoming more cautious. Resale prices are dropping. Collectors—
You know, you walk into Hermes and say, hey, I want to buy one of these. You know what they say to you? No, we don't have them. First of all, you have to be an Hermes customer. You have to demonstrate that you like the brand. And then you can only buy 1 per year.
Are rethinking their investments. And everyday shoppers are starting to wonder, what exactly am I paying for? The fashion world has pushed the idea that China equals low quality, while Europe means excellence. But that's an outdated belief. In today's global economy, a well-made product can come from almost anywhere and usually does. This whole scandal proves that luxury is no longer just about materials or workmanship, it's about perception. And that illusion is starting to break. What happens now? With the spotlight now on Hermes and similar brands, people are demanding transparency. Consumers are smarter, more informed, and tired of being misled. They want to know the truth about what they're buying and where it's actually coming from. Meanwhile, Hermes is trying to put the pieces back together. But filing lawsuits won't fix broken trust. The internet doesn't forget, and once people stop believing in the magic of Made in France, it's hard to go back. The luxury world is changing. Blind loyalty is fading. In its place is a new generation of shoppers who care less about labels and more about what's real. So, next time you see a $25,000 bag in a boutique window, ask yourself, are you paying for craftsmanship or just the story behind the tag?